Cesaro and Sheamus, okay, and there were some pretty gnarly near falls. There were times where I was like, "Holy shit! Are they actually gonna Cesaro and Sheamus actually gonna beat him clean? What is this about?" And then, and this was the night of tag team wrestling.
I will
basically
give it that. Yes,
the matches of the night, other than up to this point, the only matches that I enjoyed completely were the tag team matches, because these guys know how to tag team.
They tag team real good.
Okay, we knew that Ambrose and Rollins could do it. Okay, from back in the day, we've seen that Cesaro and Sheamus can do it over their run over the past year. It's been about a year now. Wasn't their last best of 7 match at last year's SummerSlam?
You know what? I think you're actually right.
Yeah. So, and as Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins bring out the best in one another, as we said.
Yeah, these two definitely have great, fantastic chemistry together.
Yeah,
there's no denying that.
That's the best wrestling match out of both these guys. I'd say I might go of the year. I might go because, as I've said, they've been treading water the entire year, basically. So this was really good. And it was the start of a good stretch for SummerSlam.
Speaking of continuing that good stretch, next up we had AJ Styles defeating Kevin Owens in a singles match with Shane O'Mac as the special guest referee match. Yeah, AJ Styles wins.
Yeah, as you would expect. Okay, the actual match itself is great. Okay, the two guys. The problem I have with this is the problem I have with any special guest referee match.
That being?
The match isn't about the wrestlers. It's
True
about
enough.
the special guest referee. Okay. And the problem I have is Shane McMahon, okay, takes some of the nastiest bumps of all time, gets up, and continues on. Okay, how many times did he get knocked out during this match?
I love the spot where Owens just screams at him, "You fall off of buildings!"
You fall off of buildings and you can't count to 3?
Damn it, I love you, Kevin.
Yeah, I mean, like, Kevin Owens and AJ Styles tried, man.
Yeah,
honestly, like this was enjoyable. This was okay, but there's some logic flaws in here that just made my mind go bleh during the match.
Okay, what were those logic flaws for you? Because I've got my own thing that was hanging me up.
As I said, okay, Shane McMahon. Okay, this whole thing. I like the idea of the don't put your hands on me. If you don't put your hands on me, I won't put my hands on you. And he was fair. He did it to both guys. He pushed both guys. That's cool. Okay. I just can't with the how many times he got knocked out. How many times he wasn't around the count. I'm like, this is Shane McMahon we're talking about. I don't believe it when other wrestlers get knocked out. I'm not gonna believe it when Shane McMahon does it. I believe it when actual refs get knocked out because they're small, they're tiny. They get punched in the face, they break in two. Okay?
Yeah.
But
Shane McMahon is the money.
Shane McMahon, as Kevin Owens rightfully puts it, falls off of buildings. Okay? That's it. It makes no sense to me. Logic flaws. Okay? WWE.
I just love that they called it out. That was one of the biggest redeeming qualities of this entire match. Just the entertainment value from that alone.
That actually brought it back up to me, because that was actually ruining the match for me. And then Kevin Owens is like, "You fall off of buildings," and I'm like, "Yeah, okay, I'm back in," because it was really taking me out of the match. I'm like, this dude falls off of structures, gets back up, and wins matches. Okay, that's it. We've seen it. We've seen it happen over and over again. He gets punched in the face once, he's out for 2 minutes. That's it. What?
Yeah, and I'll be very honest with you. It was at this point, because the night was relatively long and polluted with very subpar matches for the most part. This was around the point where I was just starting to feel burnt out. I started to lose focus on the match, and as soon as he said, "You fall off of buildings," I was like, "That okay? Now I'm back invested in the match again." But even so, it's this part of this match still fell flat for me, with the whole Kevin Owens being Kevin Owens thing, just totally on the sidebar. Everything else was great,
and I don't like that this match was basically a build to a match on a minor pay-per-view. A match on a major pay-per-view shouldn't be a build-up match for a match on a minor pay-per-view, because apparently Styles and Owens are Shane and Owens are gonna wrestle at Hell in a Cell.
Yeah, this
Right.
This is another one. To me, this was another one of those prevailing themes the entire night. Where
why don't you have this match at Battleground?
SummerSlam is supposed to be about resolutions, and to me there just weren't enough resolutions, and there were far too many setups for feuds or continuations of feuds for me that just ultimately fell really flat.
Yeah, for me, if you had this match at Battleground with the guest referee, because that pay-per-view was shit anyway, guest referee would fit right in. and then you have Owens versus Shane at SummerSlam. Done. Okay, instead they're gonna have Owens versus Shane in a Hell in a Cell match, and why? So Shane can jump off the top of the Hell in a Cell again like a moron?
You know that's the reason why.
Yeah, it makes no sense to me, but I'm fine with Shane wrestling in 2017. I don't like build up to matches on the second biggest pay-per-view of the year, building for a minor pay-per-view that will mean nothing in the long run.
Speaking of that,
it's time. Have yourself the floor, good sir.
Yes, Jinder Mahal beat Shinsuke Nakamura. It still stings. I am now in recovery. As soon as I saw this, I was just staring at my TV for about a good 5 solid seconds. Then I went across the room, pet my friend's cat, hoping it would help. Did not work. I went back. I sort of sat there in a slump, wondering, okay, what on earth just happened? And I just sort of sat there for the rest of the night with the slight hope that this, like we said before, this wasn't, just because this was not the payoff that we were anticipating, does not necessarily mean that this is not the start of a full-on feud. I'm hoping that's the case, and that Shinsuke will win it eventually.
I'll say this, okay? If you watched SmackDown, which you probably didn't,
I saw it.
It is not over. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
He took out all three. Okay, so there's gonna be a rematch at Hell in a Cell. That's just the way of it. It's what's gonna happen. However, this is SummerSlam.
It's a land of payoffs, or you should have payoffs.
I'm not even talking about this. This was a house show match. This was
It
the
really
effort.
was.
This was the effort put into this match. I understand Shinsuke effort in this match. Losing the Jin... Why can't this experiment be over? Okay. It's done. It's run its course. It didn't work. I know that Scholar Jeff had his hopes when this started that this could work. Okay. The past couple months have shown that no. This was a bad plan. It was. And now, okay, possibly your most over guy on the entire roster is losing to Jinder Mahal in a glorified house show effort given match on the second biggest pay-per-view of the year in a world heavyweight title match. Okay, this was a disgrace. The only thing that made this not the worst match of the night is that we had Big Cass versus a Big Show in a shark cage match. Because I don't think anything's gonna beat that for worst match of the year. Okay, but that is the only thing that saved this match from being worst match of the night. It's certainly the most disappointing. And I can't... This is the... I try to stick up for Vince. I try. Every pay-per-view, I'm like, okay, maybe this is the one where Vince comes out of it. Vince comes out of his stupor and does good work. Okay? And then this happens. And I remind myself why he should be in the mental home. That's it.
Something is rotten as a foot in WWE.
And really, okay, so far I'm sorry, Jeff, but Nakamura's run in the WWE has been flat. It hasn't been good for now. But I mean, what, he's been up for 5 months now. He came up the night after WrestleMania, the show after.
Five months really isn't that long of a period of time.
Yeah, I understand that, but they need to do better. They have to do better, and they have to give Nakamura opponents that can actually hang with him. Jinder Mahal is not one of them.
And you know what? That fact alone makes me even more confident that come Hell in a Cell, when there's no more excuses, Shinsuke will take him out, take the strap off him, and they'll move on to better opponents.
And here's the problem. Okay, Shinsuke's gonna win the title, but the match is gonna be shit again. Because Jinder Mahal's not a good wrestler. I'm sorry. Maybe he was in the WWE in NXT, but the way that the WWE has hamstrung him, or given him specific moves and specific styles, and making him do every match is the same, and I'm sick of it, because it makes people like Nakamura and Randy Orton, they look horrible against Jinder Mahal, and those are two of the top wrestlers in the world. And they look like shit when they go against Jinder Mahal.
Yeah,
I kind of want to see AJ Styles go up against Jinder Mahal.
Just see what he can do with him.
See if Jinder Mahal brings him down to his level too.
Hey, if AJ Styles can't get a good match out of you, there ain't no hope for anybody.
Exactly. That's my point.
But anyway, at long last, here we are with the grand finale to SummerSlam, and oh boy, was it a monster match. We had Brock Lesnar beating Samoa Joe, Braun Strowman, and Roman Reigns to retain the Universal Championship. This one was a demolition derby, and I loved it.
This was everything I wanted from this match and more. Okay? With these 4 guys, if you tried to do a normal Fatal 4-Way match,